Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today, recapping our Week 13 win versus the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Before we get into it, definitely want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I don't really believe in waiting for one day or one time a year to give thanks. I believe in daily thanks and contemplation, but I do recognize that this is a time where a lot of people get to be around their family just because of work schedules and all those different things. And so artificially, it is a time for us to really reflect and to be with everybody. Happy holidays to everybody out there that's able to be with family and enjoy this football and enjoy this win and all that good stuff. With all that being said, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. Oh my God. So let me get this straight. We go up against the Detroit Lions with their backup quarterback in Chicago, and we get into a dogfight. We show up to Detroit on Thanksgiving 3 weeks later, and they have their third string quarterback, and we get into a dogfight. Interesting. Let's start with the offense. Let's just go there. We won the game, but there's a lot to talk about. I am so sick of watching this offense. And this is not me being a whiny Bears fan. This is not me being a Trubisky hater, Nagy hater, any of those things. This is me as a pure football fan. If I don't have to see another curl route in my life, I would be happy. And look, I've never been a huge fan schematically, offensively with the curl routes. I'd rather have something more vertical. And so that's just me personally. But even still, from the video breakdowns to now watching the games, I've seen this concept so much it makes me sick. The only thing I hate more than the curl route concept is the hitch route concepts. Hate hitches. So anyway, with that being out the way, the offense was what we have seen for a while. Not super imaginative, although a little bit more open than previous weeks. And so I do appreciate that on some level. But for the most part, at its core, it was the same thing. Now, I'd be interested to watch the run game. I know this past week I didn't really do what I usually do, but I'm going to pull up the run game, some of the pass pro as well. And the run game, I'm interested because we did run a good amount of zone. We ran a few other plays, but for the most part, we ran inside zone. Hopefully, if you've been watching, which not a lot of people have, honestly, but if you have been watching the breakdowns of the run games, you will notice these same things in the game. And the difference is you saw I forgot what Montgomery ended up with, but I know he went over 60 yards today rushing, and you saw him get some good gains. The difference is I seen him make better decisions, and that's in real time. And not even one-cut decisions. They were, kind of secondary, but he found what an opening was, and that's the thing. And Detroit's not great. Now, I'm not even going to blow this up. They're not a great defense, but he started seeing what the openings was. I don't think he hit it right away with his first decision because I think he would have had bigger gains. But he eventually got to the openings. And I've shown you in the run reviews, usually he doesn't make the right decision. And so I would say that was the difference. So I agree to an extent when you're talking about power plays and gap plays that, hey, the offensive line isn't opening up a hole. But for the most part, when you're talking about zone plays, it's up to the running back to make yards. Unless everybody completely gets destroyed off their block, which hasn't been the case for our O-line, but whatever. So there's that. Cowherd, dude. Look, here's the funny thing. Bears fans, or I would just say fans in general, but the Bears fans I interacted with are so funny because it's like whoever's not playing is better than whoever's playing. That's how they act. I remember in the offseason, the preseason, I should say, with the preseason games, it was like, how long? Oh my God, he looks terrible. We need to get Rashard Coward in there. Oh my God, Cody Whitehair did this. We need to get Rashard Coward in there. No, I'm like, dude, he is absolutely trash. No, he's this and he's that, and he'll give it. Like, people make up their own narratives to justify what they think. Coward gets in finally. He is absolutely terrible. Now it's like, oh man, we need to put Bars in. Yeah, we're so stupid that we don't have Alex Bars in. And I like Alex Bars, but it's like, oh man, Alex Bars be so much better. Yeah, we need to put Alex Bars in. And I'm just like, dude. And I can't personally stand watching Coward, but I understand to an extent how these things work. It's just some of these fans are hilarious. Like, they're like, yeah, man, we got these practice tight ends, these practice squad tight ends. They're way better than Burden. Yeah, no, we're not just hating. They're just way better. Yeah, the practice squad guys that weren't drafted are way better. Rashad Coward, who wasn't drafted, was just way better. Like, they're just so talented. They're elite players just sitting on practice squad because that's what usually happens. No, no. I was laughing at y'all. It's so silly. But anyway, so it's funny because we see these people. So, like, Wims is in because Gabriel's hurt. Oh yeah, man, Wims and Ridley should be starting. Wims and Ridley are way better. It's just like, y'all are hilarious. Same thing with Eddie Jackson. Oh man, I don't care when they got drafted. They're clearly way better. Yeah, they're so clearly way better that they didn't earn starting spots. And then it's like, okay, these coaches just know everything. But then you criticize them for having the starter. So if they're so smart to pick the talent, but you're also saying they're too dumb to put the talent in, doesn't make sense. But anyway, overall, offensively, I get an MVP to Mitch Trubisky. And I don't think we've had too many great play concepts, but I think it was a little different, but for the most part, it's been the same. And you still saw Trubisky make some plays. And it's not that it was new plays that wasn't there. Some people tend to act like, oh, you dropped the pass. Oh, the play calling was terrible. We don't know how to scheme. Oh, they make the catch. Oh, yeah, see, that's how you scheme them open. It could be the exact same play. People wouldn't even know. But, again, to me, it's the difference of just completing the pass and whatnot. And so Trubisky putting some accuracy on these passes where they're catchable, taking shots instead of going underneath. And there were many times where he just completely read it wrong. But in the moments that mattered, he definitely hit his targets and he took a shot and he did it with accuracy. And so I got to give him props for that. He wasn't great, but he definitely kept us moving past the chains and he got us to where we needed to go. So overall, I hate watching the offense. As a grade, I would give them a B-. Just statistically, they look better, but you still got to realize this defense isn't that great. So then defensively. Now, remember when they were telling us, all these Bears fans, hey, the defense only gave up points because they were tired. The defense only did this because they were tired. And it's not just this game, but in other games, I have to sit back and look like, hey, what about that first drive where they marched down the field on us with Jeff Driscoll? Or the first drive this game where they bombed it on us for a touchdown? Oh, well, it's because Prince messed up. Well, then, okay, they bomb it on Kyle Fuller. They get a big chunk play past Eddie Jackson. They went down on the second drive as well. And so people love to make excuses. I haven't seen anything from this defense that I haven't talked about before. And that's the truth for this whole team. Because I can break things down and recognize it and continue to be consistently with it. But a lot of people like to bounce around from excuse to excuse. And so when you look at its totality, it's like, look, there's things we're not strong with. And there's even the idea that we aren't starting fast this year. We are not reconciling, but we're doing a little better in the second half, bending, not breaking. But for the most part, we got talent, but there's things we're not good at. Eddie Jackson's not looking great this year. Khalil Mack, not looking great this year. I've talked about Khalil Mack before. the inconvenient truth people don't want to hear about Eddie Jackson. Yeah, he got a last second interception that was thrown up. Cool. But Eddie Jackson has become a victim of his own hype, is my guess. I look at the gambles he takes, and it's more about jumping people, baiting people, and it's about being a ball hawk and risky more than it is assignment sound. And so that has come to bite him. Now, the common refrain, which is funny, is that it's Prince Amukamara's fault. And trust me, I've singled him out before as not being our best link, but he plays, he's scrappy, he's smart, he's assignment sound. He's not the most athletic, but there's things that's definitely his fault. But I guarantee you, and again, I don't know. I'm gonna preface all that. I don't know what the play is called, but I almost guarantee you, from what I understand about football and looking at the way it plays out, a lot of times Eddie is leaving him out to dry. And so there's a discussion to be had about Eddie Jackson and his ability to play soundly on the back end rather than trying to bait and jump things. So there's that. Khalil Mack already talked about. The interior run game already talked about. Yes, Akeem Hicks helps us and makes us better, but even with Akeem Hicks, there's an interior run problem. Let's talk about the MVP, Roquan Smith. And that was before he even got the last big sack. I was like, okay, there's some issues going on. But Roquan, not only the tackles he made that saved a bigger game, but there's coverage he had as well that took away big-time options. So Roquan, and this is without any evidence whatsoever, my personal feeling of what I know about these types of mental things, I think something's a little off with him. He has erratic behavior. I watched him in college. I watched him on field, off field. I've seen him. He could be fired up a little bit, but for the most part, he's a very even kill dude. And then we know there's some weird stuff that happened with him missing games. But lately, he's been super expressive on the field. And I mean, like, now I'm not knocking people who are expressive and celebrate and do all that crap, but that's never been his thing. And recently, he's been acting like that, and he's been playing better. Seems to be playing more aggressive, but that type of volatile switch in demeanor usually is a red flag. So I'm just curious, just in case something happens. I just want to put it out there. I'm curious about that. But as far as his on the field play, much better. I mean, not even the stat, like, playing right is first, and the stats come with it. Like, I don't care about the stats. I'm talking about how he plays. He's more aggressive, more downhill. He still gets caught up on blocks sometimes, but he's just more aggressive against blocks. And he's really stepped up with Trevathan's absence. I know a lot of people like Kwiatkowski because he's assignment sound. That's what he is. We know those type of players. Players that will do their job, even though he's not the most athletic and can't stretch outside of that job, but he will do what he's coached to do. And I'm glad for it. But Roquan has really stepped outside the box and did a lot. He was all over the field today. And so I got to give him the MVP. Overall, all that being said, we beat a bad team. I mean, let's just be honest. We beat a team that isn't performing well, and they had a third-string quarterback. And we almost lost to them, to be frank. So there's a lot of discussion. I mean, not even a lot of discussion. We've had this discussion. But if you want to keep it in context, we kind of know what this means. So we're just going to go ahead to the next week and see what we can see. So anyway, enjoy the holidays and all that. Definitely go down to the comment section, share it around, get the conversation started. Check out the Patreon if you like the content you want to consider supporting so we could hopefully do bigger things with this channel, man. I would love to do bigger things, but we need the support. And so if you want to consider that, check out that link in the description. Continue with the holidays and, all that stuff. Thumbs up, subscribe. And remember, stay up and bear down.